Hi, how's it going? My name's Alex Evans. I'm doing this for my public speaking class, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about the Asian American discrimination that's currently going on in America. Um, Pretty much, I don't know about anyone else, but when I was a kid, when I had some pretty spicy jokes, I wasn't exactly the most racially okay kid, like I made some racist jokes. Usually it was my own culture or whatever, but that's who I was. And I'm still willing to own up to that because, whatever. However, I do believe that, especially right now, of all times, that Asian American discrimination is going on all around the world. I mean, if you look at last year, March 16th, there was the shooting that happened at, was it three spas? And eight people were killed. Six of them were Asian, four of them were Korean, one of them was Filipino, and the other was Vietnamese, which truly breaks my heart to know that someone has that much hate in them. Unfortunately, this is not a happy story. This is not a happy presentation. This is honestly how I see things in America as an Asian American myself. Um, and I think the best way to go about this is to let you guys know exactly what I want to cover. For the most part, my main thing is doing my main points, which are the history of Asian American culture, the discrimination, and how we can be better as a community, as a society, as a country. Now, I'm not too sure how many people have a different opinion than myself, but I do believe that no matter how you look at it, Asian discrimination is everywhere. There was a woman a month ago, 76-year-old woman, got smacked in the face because of the color of her skin. Therefore, I'm not saying that, black lives don't matter because they matter more than anything in the world, especially in this society and our social climate. But I feel like because I am Asian, I have more say in that than I do in Black Lives Matter. Um, to be honest with you, I believe that we, because of what happened in the spa, we will not be able to fully understand the entire picture of what it means to be this or that. You need to fully understand that these people, they were people just like everyone else. And that's how I've always said it. I've never said Asian Americans. I've never said black people. I was never raised that way. I've always been a person to say people, like, because in my opinion, that's how I grew up. However, my main points are, as I've said before, the culture, the history of the culture, why people have these fears, and most importantly, how we can better ourselves from this. Um, and I believe our story starts in 1848 when the gold rush was first established. Um, due to many people not knowing the English language, obviously, it was kind of a rough time. It was a very rough time. And for the people that did start to learn English, the people that struggled and still were able to learn, they were treated the worst. Because at the end of the day, the people that could understand and could communicate with you know, both languages, they were used the most out of everyone. Money wise, at just being a human being, like it's disgusting. It really is. And if you look at it, no matter how you word it, all these people had the exact same goal, which was to either they immigrated from China, right? And they decided either they're going to start a new life. They're going to be, America. It's freedom. It's freedom, or their families would still be in China or wherever they came from, and they would just try to provide for the family, send back money constantly. And that, in my opinion, is what made the people who they are. It was because of honor. It was because of who they were as a person, not because of what someone told them, not because of what someone believed, but it's because of their own personal beliefs. And I think that's the most important thing to take away from this entire presentation as a whole. Now, you got to remember that, keep in mind that most Asian Americans are outraged right now as well. You have all these peaceful marches that are going on, and I believe that's a very, very important first step. You have all these people that don't understand either if they should riot or if they should do it peacefully. And God, thank God that they are doing it peacefully. They're doing peaceful marches. It all started March 26th. And actually the first one was in San Francisco, California, which, as a matter of fact, was one of the first places when the old 76-year-old lady got smacked, which is why it was such a big deal there. It was actually one of the most major turnouts in a march there has been for Asian Americans, not for Black Lives Matter. However, there was a man his name was Ben Tang. He was around, he's a father. I believe he's around 30, 40 years old. And I remember he was taking his daughter just to the park when he saw a group of just a bunch of male middle-aged individuals. And they were all spewing racial slurs at him. They were pushing him around, and they spit on him and his daughter because of the color of their skin, because they were afraid of the fact of the matter of COVID. And at this point, remember, COVID's been around for almost 6 months. People aren't as afraid of it as they originally were. They're more afraid of who made it, not what it is, but where it came from. And because of that, unfortunately, there was a bunch of racial stereotypes. There were a bunch of it. No matter where you looked, no matter who you were, hell, even in Norfolk where I live, plenty. And it disgusts me to know it happens, but at the same time, you have to understand where they're coming from, which I'm not saying is the best thing, but if you don't understand them, then how are they going to understand us? So realistically, it all comes down to China. And because of that, they racially profiled us under the same category: Koreans, Japanese people, Chinese people, Filipino, Vietnamese, etc. Okay? And no matter how you look at it, and I apologize for saying that a lot, but really, you can't look at this any other way. I cannot stress this enough. But I do believe that the first important step is definitely creating a discussion. As I've mentioned this before, there are multiple marches that are going on even as we speak, as I'm making this recording, where many individuals, Asian, Black, Native American, everyone, they're all gathering hands because they know that what this one individual did is wrong. And I refuse to say his name because I'm not going to give him that credit for murdering 8 people in a nail salon. That's disgusting, and I will never give him credit. But I will say, and this is all I'll say about it, I believe that because this happened, this made everyone stronger as a community. It made everyone believe in something a little bit more than what they already did. Asian Americans, they finally have their voice. You're looking at the economic society of nowadays. Oh my God. I mean, all these people, they go on a day-to-day basis having to deal with racism, having to deal with just depression because they're afraid to walk out of their houses, especially right now. So what do you do then? And as I was saying, I do believe that we are on the first important step of marches. And also, Harvard was actually just got their first lawsuit about 6 months ago, because they were discriminating against Asian, African American, and Native American cultures, and Latino, excuse me. And because of that, they filed a lawsuit. Harvard settled and is now, I'm not saying that they're better for it, but they are accepting a lot more individuals of, different races, which I think that is very important. I'm not saying that there's still, no matter how you look at it, in the wrong, but that's the way I see it. If I had to say something to take away from this conversation, it's that hopefully I was able to teach you a bit about the history. I was able to teach you about the Depression and just how exactly terrible everything was for my culture as a whole. Don't get me wrong, I'm only Korean, okay? I have, there's different races of Asian, but I believe that's not how we should look at it. We should all look up at each other as one. We are all one being. We all help each other, and it's for a certain goal, and it's to make this world better, to make it worth living. So we're not depressed every day in our houses, afraid to go outside to get smacked in the neck by some random white guy. And I fully believe that it will happen. Now, you know what? No, I believe that it already is happening. No matter how you look at it, no matter what position you're in, black, white, Latino, Asian, you will always have to think, is this okay? What is going on here, and why is this wrong? Thank you for your time, and yeah.